Hey everyone, it's Stephanie again, and you're tuned into the review of Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 3. Before I get started, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be the first to find out when I post these videos. All right, so last night was the culmination of all the couples getting married. There are 5 couples this season, and the last 2 couples got married, Mindy and Zach and Meka and Michael. They found a way to really stretch these 2 couples out. I mean, I thought 2 hours last week was a long time with the 3 couples, and we still found a way to do 2 hours with the 2 couples. At this point, the baby that I'm carrying will be doing reviews on this season if it continues to go this slowly. So I'll just jump right into it because we already saw the couples last week, and so let's start out with Michael and Mika. So last week it ended with Mika kind of having a little thing about her dress. I thought they were going to like make that a bigger deal, but it was just like for dramatic purposes. She was totally fine. Of course they did the thing with the families that they had them come in a few at a time to meet them before, and you know, Mika's mom is very supportive of her and she's excited. Her friends are supportive. His friends are supportive as well, Michael's friends. And, you know, they meet at the aisle. They both seem to be very nervous to me, but I think they're feeding off of each other. And throughout the night, you see that as one becomes comfortable, the other becomes more comfortable. They laugh a little uncomfortably at the altar, but they're able to kind of talk and get to know each other and get through the ceremony. I don't know. There's not there's not one couple that I really get such a strong vibe from. A lot of the other seasons, there's usually a couple or 2 that you're really pulled into, or there's a dynamic that's really, really interesting. For this whole season of the 5 couples, I don't get that yet. I don't really connect with any of the couples. And I don't see the couples like super connected. At this point, I'm like, okay, if I'm looking at it in terms of a puzzle, some of the pieces may make sense and they may work, but I'm not seeing like chemistry off the bat with any of the couples. But it's good to know that Michael says that this is exactly who he would want. He's so pleased and she's happy. She's attracted to him. They have a pretty good time, you know, going through the picture process. That's another thing. I think most of the couples did a good job with the picture process, because here you are taking wedding photos with a stranger, essentially. So they made light of it. It was kind of like, well, the more comfortable, I remember her saying, like, as he gets more comfortable, she's going to get more comfortable. Time will tell. I don't watch the previews, though. So I'm sure there's more to come. But for Michael and Mika, it was kind of easy, kind of relaxed. One thing that I saw this season in depthly that we don't necessarily see in the other seasons is the time with the friends at the reception. So there was a lot of friends and family. So there was a lot of time and a lot of content with watching family members and friends, you know, bridesmaids, groomsmen, talk to either the bride or the groom. Mom and dad talk to the bride or the groom, just to get a little bit of insight. So we got a little more content there. That was pretty good to see. So we'll see with Michael and Mika. It was interesting that at first I think he said during matchmaking, or maybe the first episode, that he was not going to sleep in the bed. And they ended up, you know, sleeping in the same bed together, kind of just taking this journey together, saying, hey, you know, this is weird for me too. I think he said something like he slept in a bed with a stranger before. Nonetheless, they chose to sleep together the first night, like sleep in the same bed together, not be intimate. So we'll see with them. There's nothing that is overtly wrong, or there's not some huge red flag that I've seen thus far with them. Do I think like it's a match made in heaven, and am I getting fireworks? Not necessarily. But, you know, we'll see. We'll follow their journey. So that's Mika and Michael. The second couple, or I guess the last couple who got married last night, was Mindy and Zach. So for those who don't know, Mindy's the figure skater. Zach is the fitness guy. Okay, here's the thing. It was really sad to watch Mindy get married without the support of her family. And this is not the first time we've really seen this. But it doesn't happen too often. And a lot of times the families who don't support, they still show up. They're going to show up begrudgingly, but they'll show up nonetheless. Her sister was there, which was great, but she really missed out on her dad walking her down the aisle. And it was just really sad because no matter how much you pump yourself up in your head and you take that step, you know, family is an integral part of a wedding, and you definitely want that. And as a woman, you would want your dad, if he's living, he's healthy, like he could be there. He's not there to walk you down the aisle, and she walked herself down the aisle. And so that was sad. And I thought it was kind of obnoxious that her family was texting her sister asking for pictures. What? I would be so petty about that. Do not send them pictures, because they can get the real thing and they're not here. And they have the right to not be on board with this, but you can't not be on board with this and then ask for pictures. Because here's the thing, there are some couples who have lasted and they're still together. And so like in the moment, it may not be that exciting for someone who's not on board, but like if we, you know, circle the clock forward, would you really want to miss this? Would you really want to make that big of a mistake? And let's say they are perfect together and they end up working out and they're having a child and they're building a family, and you miss that and you can't get it back at all. So I thought that really sucked, but she was able to get through it. Zach, here's the thing with Zach. Zach keeps saying that, you know, his whole shtick is like, I've dated tons of women before. I've dated very beautiful women, essentially, but it hasn't worked out. So he's kind of thinking, okay, my picker is off. Maybe I go for what's cool on the surface, but I have yet to really identify what works beneath the surface, or find someone that does. You know, I'm sure he could list what he wants, but obviously he has not been able to be successful on his own. And that's the thing that I keep hearing from him. Like, that's his whole narrative is like, hey, I've dated beautiful women in the past. Doesn't work out. Experts, find me someone average with a great mind. And it's like the last thing that he says is always like, in regard to Mindy, it's always like, I don't even think he mentions looks, to be honest. When he saw her and in the behind the scenes, that, you know, a lot of what he was saying was that she was intelligent, or she seems intelligent, and even his family was like, along the lines of, you know, she seems intelligent, she seems like a great gal. There was not a form of like attraction that really was like combustible chemistry from them. Zach seems like he's so willing, though, I'll give him that, so willing to give his all to this experiment and try something else. But the chemistry, the physical chemistry is important. Like, let's not pretend it's not. It's not everything. There's plenty of people who you have physical chemistry with who absolutely suck or who are not your match, or not great people, or not great spouses. But there has to be something to build on. And the vibe that I get from Zach is like, I'm willing to make this work because she may be great, even if I'm not super attracted to her. And he doesn't even have to say it. That's just what I get. Well, on the other hand, she's so attracted to him, and she says it so much. And even if he wanted to go the route of like not really focusing on looks, it doesn't even come up. It's not like he's saying, oh, she's intelligent and she has a lot going for herself and she seems so great and she's easy to talk to and she's beautiful. Like, we're just talking about the cake, which is really, really important, but let's not ignore that. We all like a little icing, okay? So she's getting a lot of icing and she cannot wait to lick that icing, okay? Her thing is, I can't wait, you know, maybe I'll see him with his shirt off later, which is great. That's exciting. You're matched, you know, this blind match. And so to get matched with somebody that you're very attracted to, that's exciting. But it seems very one-sided. So I'm like, man, the vibe I get from him is like genuinely trying, but I don't know how long that's going to last. I hope that they're able to connect in another way, because on second thought, you can really connect with someone and build that desire for them. It's happened many times. I know men are more visually stimulated, so that needs to be something that is a significant thing, but we don't know. But that's the vibe that I get from them. Their vows to each other were really nice. their conversation together. They have no problem being, touchy-feely. They kiss during the pictures. They kissed at the altar. So they're very comfortable with each other. But like I said, I don't really see the sparks there at all. So that is Zach and Mindy. He did talk to her about, hey, where's your family? And she kind of felt the need to kind of speed rush that and give him a little bit, but also is like, okay, we'll really talk about this later, because they just were not in support of this experiment, but they're great people, kind of like giving you as much as you need right now, and we'll go in depth, which is important because he basically said, my family can't wait to meet you. They're so excited and they're so supportive. So that's something that was significant, but listen, that's real life. So you're gonna get married at first sight. Let's not shy away from conversations that are significant. I mean, they're not here and it's obvious, so let's just get into it. So that is Mindy and Zach. We saw last night the entirety of everybody's reception and everybody kind of talking, families talking. Katie's friends are interesting gals. Those are the gals that you want to throw you a bachelorette party because they could get down. Some of the questions that they were talking to Derek about and asking Derek were hilarious. I think they were drunk. At least one of them we know for sure was drunk because she left nothing on the floor with what she had to say. But it was interesting to watch. It was funny to watch. We saw Derek like kind of, oh my God, this is a lot because he's, being respectful and this is her friend. These are her friends. So like, let me present in the best gentleman way that I can. So that was funny to watch. We kind of just see everybody just have a good time. I think one thing that was interesting to note with Mika and Michael, because they talked about briefly kids, and she's saying she wants to wait a year. He's saying he wants to wait 2 years, and he kind of has a plan. First year, let's get to know each other. Let's travel, which makes sense. I get kids are a thing. But if you do this experiment, you can't expect somebody to just want to give you a baby immediately. But he's like, let's get to know each other and travel the first year, second year, kind of like build our life plan, figure out where we want to live, how we want to live, and then go from there. And I could see that will circle back because she's kind of like 2 years. She can't even fathom it. And she's only 25, you guys. She's only 25. At 25, though, society is telling you need to get there. Because I've been there. Most women have. If you're of a certain age, they're telling you that you don't have time. Like 30 is the end of the road. 30 is the green mile. So at first I was rolling my eyes because I was like, God, she's a baby. But then I'm thinking she doesn't know, because when I was 25, I thought I had to be at a certain point because that's what you're kind of told, but she doesn't know how much time she actually does have. And she doesn't know that really the 1 year at 26 and 27 is not going to change much. So I hope that she can keep it together and not say, no, we need to do this now, because you guys have time. And I've been reading a lot of the comments to close about the age thing. So for clarification, when I talked about how young these contestants are, I don't mind them being young. I just don't like the fact that five of the couples, the oldest one, I don't even know how old the oldest one is, but very early 30s. I think they need to mix it up. True, yeah, sure, let's match a 27-year-old. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the most part, the matches are young for whatever the reason may be. And so maybe there needs to be a branch where they develop something geared towards 30-somethings, 40-somethings. And then there could be subsets, because let's be real, you can do a lot of different things with this franchise. But to have essentially 10 people and most of them really be significantly young, you're going to come across a lot of these issues because they have just not faced them in life yet. There's a lot of, Mika, for example, there's a lot of life experiences that she just hasn't had. Same thing with, what's her name? Katie. She's really young too. So we can have a mix of those, and then we can have a mix of just a little bit older, just a little bit, just to kind of see the different aspects of a relationship and the family dynamic and how that works and family building, because it's different. So that is my 2 cents for last night's episode. Please let me know what you thought. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Everyone have a great weekend.